Revealed, Millionaire CEO and his twins go on a blind date. Incredible twist changes everything. The golden hues of autumn painted the suburban streets, but in Jack's heart, a storm brewed. Standing at the edge of a glittering empire, he had built wealth and luxury, yet at home, the silence was deafening. His 12-year-old twins, Mia and Max, felt like strangers in their own lives, yearning for their father's presence. Jack realized his relentless ambition had created a chasm, not a bridge. As the annual community charity event loomed closer, he felt an urge to connect with Mia and Max, to show them more than just the price tags of success. In a moment of impulsivity, he agreed to a blind date. It'll show them love and relationships, he thought, mentally preparing for a night of awkward conversation and superficial pleasantries. Little did he know, that night would unveil emotions long buried. The cafe where they met was cozy, filled with laughter and a warm scent of pumpkin spice. Entering, Jack felt the familiar pressure on his chest. Anna, his date, arrived with a smile that could light up the dreariest day. As they spoke, Jack watched his children openly embrace Anna. Max shared jokes, while Mia listened, starry-eyed. Each interaction chipped away at Jack's walls but left him grappling with insecurities, feeling worlds apart from Anna's grounded demeanor. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As they transitioned from small talk to personal stories, the atmosphere shifted. Anna recounted her struggles as a single mother, juggling 2 jobs while raising her children with love. Jack felt his heart twitch. Here was someone living the raw truth he'd forgotten amid board meetings and targets. The twins laughed genuinely, comforted by Anna's vivid life tales. Meanwhile, he wrestled with latent class biases that clouded his judgment. The pivotal moment came when Anna shared a detail that felt like a punch to his gut. My dad was a war veteran. He helped your family when things were tough. The room's air grew heavy. Memories flooded Jack's mind, the sound of his father's weary voice after long days, the fear of losing everything. Tears pricked at his eyes. In that moment, the golden ladders of wealth began to dissolve, revealing the worthiness of hardship and humility. But Mia and Max only saw the loving connection forming between their father and Anna. They were climbing nearer to her, seeking affection and warmth their father seemed lost in. Jack remained at the cusp of realization, standing bewildered between worlds. The blind date had become more than a simple outing, it was a mirror reflecting his heart's emptiness and the values he championed. As the night wound down, Jack faced a choice: would he let this encounter illuminate a new beginning or return to his gilded cage? Uncertainty loomed heavy on his chest. The question was stark: could he truly redefine his family's idea of love, or would he remain ensnared by old prejudices? The days following the blind date felt like a dream suspended in an uncertain haze. Jack moved through his life as if paralyzed by conflicting emotions. At work, the ruthless efficiency that once defined him seemed to falter. He stared at spreadsheets without truly seeing the numbers, distracted by the laughter of Mia and Max as they recounted their favorite moments of the evening. Anna's laughter, her stories, the way she listened to them as if they mattered. That Saturday morning, he found himself in the kitchen, sipping coffee while his kids rushed around him, eager to embrace the weekend. The bright sunlight streamed through the window, spilling golden rays across the table. Max animatedly relayed another joke he'd shared with Anna, laughter bubbling up like the steam from Jack's mug. "Dad, can we invite Anna over next weekend?" Mia asked, her eyes shining with hope. For a moment, Jack's heart raced. The image of Anna flashed in his mind, the warmth of her smile, the way she seemed to genuinely enjoy his kids. Could he really let her into their lives? Did he dare to cross that threshold? It felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, with 2 divergent paths ahead, one led back to safety, the other into the unknown. "Yeah, Dad. She has fun. And her kids could come too. We could have a barbecue." Max chimed in, excitement infectious. Jack hesitated. The yearning in his children's voices tugged at something deep within him. A sense of longing he had buried under layers of ambition. But uncertainty rippled through him. "We'll see," he finally replied, trying to mask the turmoil inside. Later that day, Jack took a walk to clear his head. The park was alive with families, their laughter crisp and buoyant. It shattered his earlier doubts. The way Mia and Max had connected with Anna felt too right to dismiss. His phone buzzed, pulling him from his thoughts. It was Anna, asking if he'd like to meet for coffee that afternoon. A wave of nervous excitement washed over him, entangled with fear. He typed a quick reply, agreeing to meet. As he made his way to the cafe, anticipation and doubt coiled tightly in his stomach. What could he possibly say? Would she sense his insecurities? When he arrived, Anna was already there, a beacon of warmth amid the bustling crowd. Her smile grounded him as they settled into easy conversation, discussing their plans for the day, the change in seasons, and the adjustments of parenting. Jack opened up about his struggles, unearthing truths that he often kept hidden. The conversation flowed naturally, unveiling fragments of their lives, revealing a tapestry of shared experience and understanding. "You know," Anna began, her voice softening, "I think it's brave of you to want to change. It takes courage to admit we want more than just work and success." The weight of her words hit him. Brave? Could he really be brave? As he looked into her eyes, he sensed a flicker of empathy and encouragement. It dawned on him that tonight, he could choose to remove the mask he had worn for so long. Just then, Mia's face popped into his mind, her hopeful anticipation for their next encounter with Anna. Could he be the father his children needed, or had the distance he created become irreparable? The question echoed louder now, drowning out any whispers of his insecurities. Would they finally bridge the gap between them? Jack's hands trembled slightly as he clutched his coffee cup, determination hardening within him. Before he could second-guess himself, he blurted out, "I want to invite you and the kids over for dinner next weekend. If that is something you'd like." The words hung in the air, a fragile branch extending into the unknown. Anna's expression softened, a spark of surprise dancing in her eyes. "I'd love that, Jack." The warmth of her reply filled him with profound hope. But deep within, another thought lurked. Was he ready for this new path? The challenges of blending their families loomed ahead like an uncharted territory, with uncertainties they had yet to fathom. As they relaxed into shared laughter, Jack sensed a shift in the air. But would this journey lead to the tenderness and connection he craved, or would it unravel in ways he couldn't predict? The answer would soon find its way to light. The week passed in a blur of heightened anticipation and simmering nerves as Jack prepared for the dinner, every day stretching out like a rubber band about to snap. His mind circled back to Anna, the warmth of her laughter, and the undeniable connection they had started to forge. He found himself snatching moments to mentally rehearse for their gathering, his heart racing at the thought of where this could lead. Friday night arrived, and the scent of grilled burgers filled the air. Jack flipped the patties, his fingers slick with grease and determination. Mia and Max dashed around the backyard, setting up a makeshift volleyball net and joking about how they were going to impress Anna's kids. The giggles and playful banter cushioned him, reminding him that this was all for them. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in brilliant hues of orange and purple, he felt a flutter in his chest. It was a mix of excitement and anxiety. Would it all come together? Would Anna's kids mesh well with his? Or would they just be awkward strangers circling one another like planets? The thrum of worry faded momentarily as he looked at his children, their faces aglow with eagerness. When the doorbell rang, time seemed to halt. Jack wiped his hands on a towel, stealing a quick glance in the hallway mirror. "All right, here we go," he muttered to himself, setting aside his doubts. As he opened the door, Anna stood there, radiant and invigorating, the sun's last rays casting her in a golden light. "Hey there! Smells great!" she exclaimed, her dimples flashing as she smiled. Beside her were two kids, a boy and a girl who mirrored the energy of Mia and Max. Jack felt a flutter of hope. They were all lively, brimming with that vibrant potential of new beginnings. "Come on in," Jack motioned, stepping aside as they entered. The laughter began to overlap as the kids, once strangers, quickly gravitated toward one another, exchanging introductions as they prepared for their backyard adventure. Jack and Anna slipped into the kitchen, their body language hinting at familiarity blossoming between them. "You've got a beautiful home," she said, glancing around, her voice genuine. I can see how you've created a warm space for them. Thanks. It's been a journey, you know? Jack replied, a subtle but honest tension in his voice. He poured drinks, using the mundane act as a shield for his deeper feelings. Yeah, parenting can be a wild ride, Anna replied, a glimmer of understanding in her eyes. It was evident she resonated with the elephant in the room parenting challenges and the trials of holding on to yourself while raising others. As the kids clamored outside, their laughter blending with the clinking of plates and the sizzling grill, Jack took a moment to breathe. Darkness descended gently, and the thin outlines of trees cast shadows around them. He caught Anna's eye, a pool of shimmering vulnerability amid the excitement. Thank you for doing this, she said softly. I wasn't sure how my kids would react. They seem to fit in perfectly, Jack replied honestly, the warmth spreading in his chest. Like they were always meant to meet. As they shifted back outside to bring the food, Jack felt something blossoming between them more than their past connections, deeper than what he first imagined. But an undercurrent of doubt still nagged at him. Was he ready for the potential that lingered just out of reach? Could he truly risk his heart again? Around the grill, the scene ebbed and flowed with laughter and friendly taunts from kids who were formulating quick friendships. But just as he began to lower his guard, a squabble erupted. Max and Anna's son collided over a volleyball, tempers flaring and loud exclamations filling the air. The joyful atmosphere shifted as they both began to scream, anxiety slinking back into Jack's heart. He rushed toward the commotion, hoping to restore harmony before it spiraled into a full-blown meltdown. As he approached, Jack caught Anna's worried expression mirrored in the eyes of her children. In that moment, he realized their efforts to blend their worlds might just require more than a simple dinner. Could he navigate these delicate waters? And if he did, what awaited them on the other side? With the chaos still swirling around them, Jack's heart raced as the evening hung suspended in uncertainty. Jack took a deep breath, his heart thumping against his chest as he reached the fray. Max and Anna's son, Lucas, stood face to face, cheeks flushed with frustration. The volleyball lay neglected in the grass, an unintended catalyst for their tempers. Hey! What is going on here? Jack interjected, kneeling down to their level. His voice was firm yet gentle, trying to catch their eyes. No need to get upset, it's just a game. Mia stood off to the side, her brow knitted with concern. She loved her brother but knew that sometimes, he didn't know when to back down. Max was in my way. Lucas shouted, crossing his arms defiantly. Max, still riled up, retorted, he pushed me first. That's not fair. Jack felt the familiar tug between his role as a dad and the desire to ease this first encounter for Anna and her kids. Jack glanced over at Anna, who was watching with wide eyes, her body language tense as she awaited a resolution. His stomach tightened. This was not how he had envisioned the evening flowing. All right, let us take a step back, he said, raising his hands in a peaceful gesture. How about we regroup? No one wins if we're all frustrated. Let us talk it out. Slowly, the tension melted away as Jack facilitated the cooling-off period. The kids each took a deep breath, uncertainty giving way to silence. After a moment, Max muttered, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to me too, Lucas chimed in, his voice small. Each boy's bravado faded like the sunlight above. Jack smiled, feeling the weight lift off his shoulders. See? That's better. How about we start fresh? Let us get back to the game. He stood, dusting off the grass from his knees, and motioned for the volleyball. We can make teams 2 against 2. How does that sound? With reluctant nods, the kids forged a few steps back to civility, throwing glances at each other, their competitive nature reigniting as they began to organize themselves. Now, I'll be the referee, Mia announced, her spirits restored as she bounced on the balls of her feet. The kids gradually began to laugh again. As Jack stepped back, he caught Anna's eyes. She wore an expression that mixed pride and relief. You handled that really well, she said quietly, stepping closer. You have a knack for it, don't you? I just tried to remember what I needed as a kid, Jack replied, shrugging off praise but feeling a swell of warmth at her admiration. Sometimes you just need someone to listen, you know? Anna nodded. It's hard for all of us. Her voice softened, eyes glimmering as she surveyed the scene. The boys were kicking the ball back and forth now, while their laughter enveloped the backyard. They stood side by side, watching their children play. But even in that soft moment, Jack felt the gravity of the day pressing in again, the uncertainty creeping back behind those playful smiles. Do you think they'll be okay? He asked, the question tumbling out before he could stop it. Anna's gaze drifted back to him, her expression shifting to something more serious. I want to believe they will be, but it's going to take time. Blending families isn't easy. Jack swallowed hard, feeling that familiar knot in his stomach. Right. I mean, what if they don't accept the changes? What if they struggle? Anna let out a small, dismissive laugh, but her eyes sparkled with understanding. Well, what if they do? Families come together in weird ways. This could be the start of something beautiful. She turned to him, searching his face for acceptance. But it all feels so fast, he admitted, the vulnerability slipping through his usual composure. Sometimes fast is the only way to go when new opportunities emerge, she said, her voice steady. I didn't come here to make things complicated, Jack. I see something in this, in you. But I also understand the risks. Before he could respond, Mia called out from the sidelines, Dad. Can you help me with the teams? Jack turned back to the commotion, the laughter pulling him in again, but the thoughts lingered. How could he risk everything just to gain the happiness he felt brewing between them as they prepared? For the match, Jack could feel the tension inside him solidifying into something more tangible. What if Anna was right? What if this was the chance they all needed? But as the kids jumped into the game, Jack knew a game was easier than the game of hearts. And this was only the beginning. As laughter erupted around him, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that something monumental was about to shift within them all. Would they embrace the challenge, or would fear push them apart? As the sun dipped below the horizon, the night air buzzed with unspoken possibilities, leaving Jack wondering just how far he could let his heart stretch. The game was in full swing, laughter filling the air, but Jack's heart raced in a different rhythm. The kids dashed around, their feet pounding the grass, sweat glistening on their brows. Mia, with the whistle around her neck, stood resolute as referee. Lucas and Max swiftly formed a bond on the court, chasing the ball like it was the world's most prized possession. Jack watched Mia navigate her role, blowing the whistle repeatedly with a joyful smile. It reminded him of his own childhood, when games were easier, and every scraped knee was just part of the fun. The tension from earlier felt like a distant memory. Yet, a whisper of doubt echoed in his mind, a reminder of the delicate balance they all try to maintain. Look out! Mia shouted, pointing as a wayward shot sent the ball airborne. Jack instinctively moved to catch it, his hands reaching out just in time. As he tossed it back, he caught sight of Anna clapping, pride illuminating her face. See? You've still got it. She teased, her laughter like a sweet melody dancing in the warm evening air. Her playful demeanor pulled him in, and he found himself grinning back at her. Only when it matters, he replied, the moment making the distance between them feel smaller. He felt lighter, more alive, as if the laughter and chaos were making real connections possible, but then, the laughter dipped. Mia's voice, once bright, turned uncertain as she called out from the makeshift sidelines, Hey, can I play too? Jack's heart sank a little at the realization. While they were forming bonds, there was Mia, lingering at the edges. He exchanged a swift glance with Anna, who seemed to share the same concern. Of course you can, sweetheart. He encouraged, waving her over. You'll be on Lucas and my team. Come on. Lucas's expression flickered. Was that reluctance? Jack caught himself. Were they really blending, or was it all just masking some underlying tensions? As they arranged themselves in teams again, a subtle shift came over the atmosphere. The kids giggled, raced, and shouted, but Jack could see Lucas's hesitation. He wondered if Lucas felt the pressure of the new dynamic. The last thing he wanted was for the kids to feel left out or uneasy, as he navigated this uncharted territory with Anna. All right, team. He called out, trying to rally everyone's spirits. Let us show him how teamwork works. He felt compelled to foster this camaraderie, believing it could lead to all of their happiness. The game continued, but moments of silence struck unexpectedly. Lucas looked at Max, then to Anna, his brow furrowing. Jack sensed the question lingering unvoiced. It was crucial now to break through the barriers, to not only build connections between the kids but to also show them acceptance. Lucas, Jack said, kneeling next to him during a break, I know it's all new. We're in this together, okay? You can talk to me about anything. Lucas rubbed the back of his neck, his mind racing as if weighing his words. Will things always be this way? I don't want to share my mom. His voice trembled, heart on his sleeve. Anna's eyes shimmered with understanding, but it was Jack who felt the weight of the moment. The truth hung in the air, heavy but necessary. Right now, we're all getting to know each other, he said softly, aware of the delicate line he was walking. But this doesn't change how much your mom cares about you. It could be an adventure, something special. Lucas looked up at him, uncertainty still evident. But what if it feels weird? Like how you felt with Max earlier? Jack offered. Sometimes it's okay to feel weird. But just because it feels different doesn't mean it's bad. Anna smiled softly, gratitude warming her gaze. Then she knelt beside Lucas. It's about building new memories together. That's what families do, and I promise we'll figure it out. That's right, Jack added, a rush of hope bubbling in his chest. We're creating a new story together. Just then, Mia bounded back into view, brimming with energy. Are we done being mushy? Let us play. Amidst the laughter, Jack felt a stirring of possibility. This was just the beginning, and while the obstacles loomed, he believed they could find a way through. As he inhaled the cool evening air, optimism wrapped around him like a warm blanket. But as the kids resumed their frenzy, Jack couldn't shake off one thought. Was he truly ready for all that lay ahead, or was he simply postponing the inevitable clash of emotions that were slowly rising to the surface? The roller coaster ride of blending families was far from over, and each twist and turn held the promise of revelation and transformation. What would it take to embrace this challenge without letting fear dictate their journey? The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm glow over the field as the game picked up steam again. Jack could hear the joyful shouts of the kids, but a tight knot formed in his stomach. It was getting late, and every clap, cheer, and whistle from Mia felt like a reminder of the complexities they all faced as a newly blended family. Mia dashed by him, her laughter pealing through the air. Did you see that? She exclaimed, delight swirling around her. Jack forced a smile, but inside, the doubts churned. Was this enough? Would this simulate the feeling of a real family? He wanted to break through the surface tension and dive deeper, but how? Anna joined him on the sidelines, her brow slightly creased in thought as she watched the kids. I just hope they're really enjoying this, she said softly, glancing up at him. I don't want them to feel forced into anything. I know, Jack confessed. But the way Lucas is with Max, it shows potential. Still, it's like we're precariously building a bridge, you know? One wrong move and it could all come crashing down. Let us talk to him afterward, Anna suggested, determination sparking in her eyes. The last thing we want is for him to feel sidelined. We need to be honest with them. Agreed, Jack replied, feeling a swell of admiration. There was resilience in Anna, a strength that seemed to carry them both. He took a breath, striving to shake off the weight. Maybe, just maybe, they could navigate this. Minutes passed, and the kids began to tire, their energy fading. He could see Lucas gravitating toward Max, a sign that perhaps their bond was solidifying, even amidst the uncertainties. Each laugh echoed hope, a flicker in the air that told him they were making progress. Suddenly, Mia fell to the grass, clutching her knee. She let out a wail as she sat up, tears streaming down her cheeks. Jack's heart skipped a beat, and he rushed to her side. Mia! What happened? He knelt beside her, brushing strands of hair from her face. The laughter around them faded as concern washed over the group. I think I scraped it. She sobbed, the pain evident in her voice. He glanced at Anna, who approached with a calm resolve. It's okay, sweetheart. Just breathe, Anna soothed, kneeling on the opposite side. We'll clean it up. You were so brave. Jack's protective instincts kicked in, but he could see Mia's eyes darting toward Lucas, searching for his reaction. The dynamic shifted, a pivotal moment lingering in the air. "Lucas," Anna called gently, "can you grab the first aid kit from the car? It's in the trunk." He hesitated, uncertainty evident, and Jack felt a moment of tension. But as Lucas glanced toward Mia, a flash of instinct sparked within him. Without another word, he bolted toward the car. Jack exchanged a knowing look with Anna, pride swelling in his chest. As Lucas returned, the kids carefully gathered around Mia. He dropped the kit beside her, a sense of empowerment gleaming in his eyes. "I helped," he said, his voice stronger than before. "You did." Mia beamed, the pain momentarily forgotten. Jack smiled, marveling at how swiftly they were forging connections in a space of vulnerability. "Sometimes it takes a little scrape to bring us together," Anna said, her gentle laughter easing the mood. Jack watched as Lucas tentatively knelt beside Mia, helping her unwrap the bandage. In that moment, there was no hesitation, just a shared sense of belonging. Perhaps this experience was shaping more than just a game, it was planting seeds of unity in their hearts. Once Mia felt better, Jack gathered the kids again, deciding to share a final cheer. "All right, team. You all did amazing today. I'm so proud of each of you." The kids erupted in joyful cheers, bursting with pride. But still, doubts crept back into Jack's mind. Had they truly come together, or were they merely skimming the surface? As the kids ran off to play again, Jack found Anna's gaze. "Do you think they'll really bond?" he asked, his heart racing. Anna leaned closer. "They will, but it's going to take more than today. We have to be there for each step." Jack nodded, feeling the weight of the challenge ahead. Would they be ready for the next big moment, the one that could either strengthen or shatter everything they had begun to build? As the sun set, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple, Jack felt the urgency of it all. Together, they were stepping into the unknown, a journey yet to unfold with promise and peril. What awaited just around the corner would test everything they had started to create. As evening settled over the field, a soft breeze rustled the leaves of the nearby trees and Jack watched the kids play in the fading light. Each laugh and every shout felt like a fragile thread weaving their lives together. But in his mind, the knot tightened again. What if they had only scratched the surface? "Hey! You guys want to play a new game?" Mia called out, bouncing on her toes as she twirled around in excitement. Jack exchanged glances with Anna, who waved him over. "What do you think? Should we give them some coaching on teamwork?" "Absolutely," Jack replied, his heart eager. He could sense that moments like these might be just what they needed to build something lasting. They approached the kids, gathering them in a huddle. "All right, team," Jack said with a broad grin. "We're going to mix things up a bit. How about a relay race?" Mia clapped her hands, her joy infectious. "Yes. But can we all be on the same team? Like a super team?" Jack smiled. "A super team sounds perfect." They divided the kids into two lines, each representing their corner of the field. Max stood next to Lucas, who seemed to swell with confidence after helping Mia. That spark of connection felt significant to Jack. As they started the race, the kids dashed forward, and Jack felt a rush of energy. Laughter filled the air, drowning out his worries. He noticed Lucas cheering for Max, and it warmed his heart. Maybe, just maybe, they were falling into place like pieces of a puzzle. After several rounds of spirited races, the game wound down, and the kids plopped onto the grass, panting and giggling. They seemed more connected, but Jack still sensed the fragility beneath their joy. A fleeting moment passed where he caught Lucas staring at Max, an expression of uncertainty flickering behind his excited smile. "Mia, can you be the captain for the next round?" Anna suggested, kneeling beside the kids. "You can lead everyone." At that, Mia beamed, and the smile took Jack's breath away. "Okay. Everyone follow me." As the kids lined up behind Mia, Anna whispered to Jack. "This feels like progress, doesn't it?" "Yes," he said, though the weight still pressed against his chest. But I can't shake this feeling that we're one mistake away from what? She gently asked, searching his eyes. Jack paused, his thoughts colliding. From breaking what we're building here. Do they really see us as a family? Or are we just super friends for now? Anna's hand found his, offering support. That uncertainty is part of blending, isn't it? We have to keep moving forward with love and understanding. Before Jack could respond, Lucas approached. Can we play a game where we have to trust each other? His simple statement hung in the air, resonating deeper than expected. Trust, the cornerstone of any bond, was exactly what he worried about. Absolutely, Jack affirmed, surprised at the surge of hope he felt. How about a game of blindfolded trust fall? One of us covers our eyes and lets the others catch us. Mia raised an eyebrow. You mean like a trust game? Yeah, Lucas chimed in. I want to try. The air buzzed with excitement, but Jack noticed the hesitation in Anna's eyes. Are we ready for a game like that? She asked softly. Jack felt the gravity of her words. Trust is tricky, he admitted. But if we don't take that leap, we'll never know how strong we really are together. He watched as Anna weighed the moment, her expression shifting from concern to determination. Let us go for it, then. As they set up the game, the kids lined up, laughter mixing with a hint of nervousness. The moment was palpable. Jack felt his pulse quickening, every heartbeat echoing the weight of this new trust they were forging. He nodded at Lucas, who took the plunge first. Jack could see the mix of thrill and fear as they guided him. Would they hold him up? Would they really catch him? As Lucas leaned backward, the moment hung in the air, an embodiment of everything they were building, everything they hoped to achieve together. Did that childhood innocence hold up to the sometimes harsh reality of blended families? With the kids cheering wildly, Lucas let go in that moment. Jack held his breath, feeling the weight of expectation in the air. Would this symbolize their first step toward unconditional support, or would it expose the fractures still lingering beneath the surface? As Lucas began to fall, Jack realized this leap of faith would either solidify their bond or shatter what they had begun to build. What would happen when Lucas hit the ground? Would they rise together, or would he find himself falling alone? The world seemed to slow as Lucas tilted backward, his arms flailing, heart racing. Jack stood anxiously, ready to react, sensing a shift in the air. The cheering kids transformed into a soft murmur, their excitement still vibrating but layered with tension. Then it happened. Lucas fell, and in a split second, the collective gasp from the kids echoed through the field. Would they catch him? Jack's stomach clenched, his heart pounding, desperate hope urging him to believe there was no other outcome. He watched as Mia and Max reached forward, arms outstretched, a movement both urgent and instinctual. And then the thud. But instead of the sharpness of impact, there was laughter. They caught him. Lucas laughed and rolled onto his feet, their grip firm and reassuring. Did you see that? I trusted you, he exclaimed, a bright grin spreading across his face. The relief washed over Jack like the tide, heavy and sweet. The cheers erupted again, louder this time, as the tension melted away. Jack felt Anna's hand squeeze his tightly, her smile infectious. See? They can do it. Yeah, they can, he admitted, his heart swelling. The relief was palpable, the kids were feeling empowered, their laughter a glue binding them even closer together. Lucas turned around, eyes sparkling with pure joy. Who's next? Who wants to try? It should be Mia, shouted Max, pointing dramatically, as if she were the star of a show. With a determined nod, Mia stepped forward, excitement surging through her. Jack watched her, marveling at her courage. Each kid took turns, some more hesitant than others, but they all fell back into a net of supportive hands. The cycle of trust deepening, each fall reinforcing their bond further, each catch a safety net of unity. But amid the blooming trust, Jack couldn't shake the worry that crept back into his mind. Was this enough? A series of games could spark joy, but what would sustain this new family dynamic? Would trust built on games hold up during the tough moments ahead? As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the gathering. Anna sidled up next to him, reading his thoughts. "This is just the beginning." Her voice softened, and Jack could feel her belief radiating. "We'll have challenges, but they're growing, and so are we." "Right," he replied, glancing at Lucas, who was beaming. "It's just I want them to feel secure in this family we're trying to create." "I don't want them to feel like it's all just fun and games," he admitted, the knot in his stomach tightening once more. "Nothing worth having is easy," Anna said, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "You know that. Look at them. They need to see us as a team too. It all starts with us." Jack nodded slowly, contemplating how interconnected everything felt. This was their journey too, and being a parent figure wasn't just about fun and games. It was about the tough talks, the listening, the teaching, and supporting each other. The last few kids finished their turns, all victorious and cheerful. But in Jack's heart, a new uncertainty churned. Would those moments they shared today prove strong enough to counterbalance moments of doubt lurking just beyond the horizon? As the dark, star-speckled sky began to unveil itself, Mia tugged on Jack's shirt, her eyes twinkling. "Can we do it again tomorrow? We should have trust falls every day." Jack chuckled, kneeling to her level. "Every day? You could be the captain of the trust team." Mia's face lit up, and Max proclaimed, "Trust is the best. We should build a big trust tower." Jack enjoyed their laughter but felt a whisper of dread gnawing at him. What if tomorrow came with new challenges? Tides of emotion shifted, carrying him toward a shore of anxiety. Were they truly ready for not just games, but the reality that awaited them? And just as the last rays of sun dipped below the horizon, a thought slipped through his mind: if they only focused on trust built in games, would they falter when faced with real-life challenges? He glanced at Anna, her eyes mirrored his uncertainty. "This is more than just fun, isn't it?" She met his gaze, expression firm. "It is. And we need to talk about that soon." Jack nodded. Tonight had been a crucial step forward, but the heart of the matter still loomed ahead, turning moments of trust into a lasting foundation. What would they find when they opened that door? Would they embrace the truth or step back in fear? The night was only just beginning, but the real journey lay ahead, waiting to unfold. The morning light poured through the window, spilling soft rays across the room. Jack sat at the kitchen table, the shadows of the past night still flickering in his mind. There was an energy about today and anticipation that made his heart race a little faster than usual. Anna entered with a bright smile, her hair slightly tousled. "Ready for adventure?" she asked, pouring coffee into his cup. It was a phrase that had become a comforting mantra for them both. "More like ready for whatever the day throws at us," he replied, taking a sip. Today was not just a routine, it was a chance to build on the foundations they started creating. The thought hung in the air, laced with both excitement and dread. The kids wandered in soon after, groggy but eager. Lucas raced to the table, barely contained, and plopped down next to Jack. "Are we doing trust falls again today?" he asked, eyes alight with thrill. Jack exchanged a knowing glance with Anna, a mixture of pride and concern swirling in his chest. "That's the plan, but remember, it's not just about falling, it's about supporting each other, even when things get tough." Mia nodded, her enthusiasm unshaken. "We're a team. Right, everyone?" The chorus of agreement that followed was heartwarming, but Jack felt the weight of expectation settle onto his shoulders. Yes, they were a team. But how would they handle it when, inevitably, things didn't go as smoothly as yesterday? The morning passed in a delightful blur. They gathered around the backyard, laughter ringing out as they took turns falling back into trusting hands. Each catch ignited joyous cheers, and Jack felt a surge of hope each time a child smiled. It was magic, the kind that seeped into the very bones of their small family. After an hour, they took a break, sprawling on the grass, breathing hard, hearts racing not just from the activity but from the shared joy that connected them. Anna brought out water and snacks, and the atmosphere was thick with contentment. Jack watched as Mia and Lucas animatedly exchanged ideas about what they could build next, but then, a soft thud broke through the laughter. Max, who had been trying a new trick, stumbled forward and fell to the ground. Silence fell like a curtain among the kids. "Max! Jack called, his heart stopping for just a moment. Mia and Lucas rushed over, but the first sound was not laughter. It was a murmur of uncertainty. Jack held his breath, anxiety spilling into the cracks of his resolve. Would they remember? Would this moment fracture the trust they had just built? Max lay there, surprisingly still, his eyes wide. Then he blinked and shook his head, a smile creeping onto his face. Just testing my limits. Relief washed over Jack, but it was tinged with doubt. Did they truly understand the boundaries of safety in this newfound trust? Encouraged by Max's lightheartedness, the laughter returned, but Jack couldn't shake his unease. He kept rethinking what it meant to build trust and strength. Were these moments enough to prepare them for real life? Later, after the playful chaos subsided, Anna pulled Jack aside. You okay? You've been quiet. It's like you're somewhere else, she noted, concern etched across her face. He sighed, wrestling with his thoughts. I'm just worried. What happens when the fun ends? When they face tough choices, arguments, or anything real? Are we preparing them for that? Anna took his hand, her grip steady. We can't protect them from everything. It's part of growing, part of being a family. We need to embrace the messiness as well as the joy. Her words resonated deeply, touching the parts of Jack that echoed concern. Maybe they didn't have to have all the answers. Maybe the best way to prepare them was not only through joy but by embracing the challenges together, by facing fears and failures as a family. But as they returned to the kids, a new spark of determination ignited within Jack. He realized they would have to start those conversations soon, making their family's bond deeper than just games. The looming question hung in the air: how would they teach resilience when everything could feel fragile? As the sun began to dip low again, he glanced at the children, moments of laughter still echoing. Today had been just a piece of a much bigger puzzle. The real challenge was yet to come, and with it, the moment when they would all need to rise together. As the sun began to fade, casting a warm golden glow over the backyard, Jack felt the weight of anticipation settle around him. It was tumultuous, but in a way that felt alive. Today was the day he sensed it deep in his bones. A new chapter awaited them, and he was ready to dive in. Hey guys! Jack called, rallying the children as they sprawled out on the grass, catching their breath. How about we gather around for a quick chat before we dive back into the fun? The kids exchanged curious glances, their excitement simmering down but their eyes bright with eagerness. Mia nudged Lucas, her face alive with mischief. What's the surprise? More trust games? I love those. Yes. Jack replied, a smile forming. But I want to talk about something a little deeper than just the games. I want to talk about being a family together. The words hung in the air, thick with meaning. Jack noticed Lucas's brow furrowing, his previous confidence turning into a whisper of doubt. Like how families stick together, even when things get weird, right, Dad? Max chimed in, his voice offering a reminder of their recent experience. Jack nodded, impressed by his son's insight. Exactly. Sometimes, we won't always play games perfectly, or trust completely. But that's okay. What really matters is how we support each other when it gets tough. He looked around at each child's face, studiously absorbing the weight of his words. Just like earlier today when Max fell down, it could have felt scary, but he laughed it off. That's trust, too, even in the face of uncertainty. Anna stood back, her heart swelling as she watched Jack encourage the kids, proud warmth radiating off him like the sun's last beams. And it doesn't stop with just playing games, she added gently, stepping beside him. Those are just stepping stones for something bigger. We've got to be honest, share our feelings, and talk when things get complicated. A moment of silence hung in the air, each child processing the depth behind their dad's words. It was a balance, a careful weave between joy and the reality of being a family. But what if we mess it up? Lucas spoke, his voice wavering. What if we don't like each other anymore? Jack crouched down, kneeling beside the boy. It's natural to feel that way. Every family faces moments like that. It doesn't mean we love each other any less. We just have to be brave and open. He felt a swell of courage from within, forcing himself to embrace vulnerability. You can always talk to me. We can talk to each other, no matter how hard it gets. Remember that. Mia raised her hand eagerly, cutting through the tension. Can we still play? I mean, do we have to be super serious all the time? She giggled, lightening the mood, her innate joy like an antidote. Of course. Jack chuckled, ruffling her hair. We can still have fun while being serious about our connection. The kids cheered, the heaviness lifting as they sprang into action again. Jack exchanged a knowing glance with Anna, who stood alongside him, her expression radiant in the fading light. You really feel like a dad today, she whispered, admiration clear in her voice. He felt a rush of warmth at her words. It was a swift reminder of everything they had traversed. I'm just trying to keep up, he replied, grinning. The hours slipped by in an exhilarating haze of laughter, playful banter, and a renewed bond. As darkness blanketed the garden, soft lights flickered on the patio, creating a cozy haven. But a moment jostled the evening. A playful tug-of-war between Mia and Max erupted into squeals and laughter when something sparked their competitive spirits. Their laughter echoed endlessly but then shifted suddenly. Whoa, Lucas, no! Max shouted as they tumbled over the rope, laughing and struggling for dominance. Jack's heart raced as he instinctively moved to separate them, wondering if history would repeat itself. Come on, guys, let us channel that energy into teamwork. Jack urged, but beneath his encouragement lay his lingering fear, the fear of chaos disrupting their newfound harmony. The air crackled with both excitement and anxiety, but Jack inhaled deeply, trusting the lessons they had begun to lay in motion. Just then, Lucas caught his breath, looking at Jack with newfound determination. Can we try it differently? Like, work together instead? Jack's heart soared. Courage bubbled forth as he caught Anna's gaze in silent communion. Absolutely. Teamwork over competition, right? He offered, his voice firm yet light-hearted. Yeah. Let us be a super team. Mia shouted as they all lined up again. The atmosphere transformed into something electric as laughter and cheers littered the air, blending effortlessly into the night. As they played, Jack felt whole, enveloped in the warmth of their bond. He could sense the way they were all weaving their stories together, a tapestry of trust, laughter, and shared experiences, creating something truly special. With each passing moment, the uncertainty began to fade. They were not just a blended family, they were learning to embrace the beautiful messiness of it all. From trust falls to laughter, they were laying the groundwork not just for a family, but a loving home. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a sense of peace settled within Jack's heart. The journey forward would be filled with challenges, but it held promise too. He looked at his children and Anna, his heart swelling with hope for the laughter and love that lay ahead. Ready to wrap up for tonight? He asked, glancing at Anna, who nodded with a soft smile. I think we're just getting started, she replied, a twinkle in her eyes. The path stretched before them, uncharted yet full of life, and together they would face whatever came next, hand in hand. This was the moment, the beginning of what they would build together, a family, actively crafting their story, filled with trust, laughter, and love. It was only the beginning, and for Jack, that felt like the most profound adventure of all. Now, it's your turn to be a part of this journey. You need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep the magic alive. Comment your thoughts and feelings about this heartwarming ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support means the world and makes a difference. Together, we can keep creating stories that resonate with your hearts.